With the new directive on re-emigration voted by the majority of the European Union, with the left and NGOs voting against, the debate has reopened, which people always try to close with the same textbook answers. They told us that insecurity was just a perception and bored us with abstract graphs. But those of us who live in the neighborhoods know perfectly well what happens, and it is not how they sell it to us. It doesn't take much to demonstrate this.
If crime really is a perception, it is as if those who say so have armored doors, burglar alarms in their cars, and security cameras in front of their homes.
There are three uncomfortable realities that the official discourse of the usual suspects persists in ignoring. The first real problem is the absolute control of the institutions. It is not a question of criminalizing those seeking a better future, but of pointing out a state that for many years has allowed mass entry without having the capacity to absorb it. Right, left, green, starry, it does not change. What happens when there are thousands of people floating around in hiding without a residence permit, without resources, without values, when foreign to crime, or when things go well for the underground economy? Well, it creates the perfect scenario for marginalization and delinquency. One or the other, and there are no alternatives. And in the end, the price of this lack of control is not paid by politicians in their private neighborhoods. It is paid by us residents in the working class neighborhoods, by women, by shopkeepers, day after day, night after night, by bottle throwing, rape, stabbings, and robberies. In other words, the best of the best, the best. The second point is the most taboo of all, but it must be put on the table. The cultural clash. It has taken Italy many centuries to build a society that is based on equality, absolute respect for women, and the fundamental right to sexual freedom. But we cannot be so naive and stupid as not to understand how this country is changing. When you open the door without filters or integration requirements, so people who come from profoundly different cultures, where the role and freedom of women are judged according to parameters from 2 centuries ago, clashes are inevitable.
Not how. I'm freer than she is. I imagine. Yes, I am free. I am. Yes, she can speak with a little bit of...
And she says it from inside a cloth prison. Unfortunately, these brains have been indoctrinated like this since birth. If that is normal for her, she will always remain convinced that she is free. And all around her, you see people who defend her imprisonment, individuals living right among us who choose to wear the thick veil of their ignorance. The assaults, the harassment, the increasing crime on our streets are not just a question of poverty. They are a question of values. Some people still haven't understood that Islam is totally incompatible with Western values. If you come to live here, the laws and rights of our women are respected from day one, and that's it. You don't make them walk around wearing veils or burqas, you don't lock them up in pens to pray, and you don't forbid them from having contact with men from that country while you live in that country. You see the Chinese who come here, buy bars, restaurants, businesses, and work their asses off every day, right? Have you ever seen a Chinese man walking around with a machete? Have you ever seen a Chinese man who rapes women, who lives in garbage, who urinates under arcades, who destroys buses, who rides the train without paying for a ticket and stabs the ticket inspector who asks for it? Do you understand the difference? I have to explain it to you. Just to give you an example. The third big problem, the one that really breaks the social contract, is the feeling of impunity. What's the point of the police risking their lives every day, arresting a repeat offender 10, 20, 30 times, if after a few hours they're already back on the streets, walking around committing crimes in the same neighborhood? The immigration law clearly states that for a national in an irregular situation who commits crimes must be expelled at the very least as a minimum measure. What does expulsion mean? That once he gets there, he can come back here, since he already knows the way. He must be expelled, but only to the jail over there and serve his sentence over there. You shouldn't give him a deportation order because, do you know what a deportation order is? It's a piece of paper that says, go away. And who cares? Some keep a collection of them and use them as toilet paper. Because then I want one too. I'll go and commit crimes too. You give me a deportation order and I won't leave. Is it that simple? We could all do it, right? Because the bureaucratic reality and the interference of far too many red robes ensure that the majority of these deportations end up becoming just empty boards. Yeah. What the hell is going on in the heads of those who put them back out an hour later? The justice system is collapsing, and criminals know this perfectly well and laugh at our laws because they know that nothing will happen. They have a sinister platoon that teaches them with false certificates how to get around any obstacle and remain a criminal in Italy. Explaining why all this happens with sociological theories does not solve the fear of a woman who returns home alone, does not restore peace of mind to shopkeepers, just as it does not make any honest citizen feel calm. What the hell is going on in your head? Goldfish in the shape of magistrates? In many countries, illegal immigration is punished by 1 to 5 years in prison. Not here. Here, everyone can enter, but not into the homes of those who want to welcome them. No, not even one there. And this has now become a problem of order, of security, and of the very survival of all our values. But I say the first people to complain ought to be the Moroccans, Gambians, Egyptians, and Tunisians, those honest fellow countrymen of theirs who, if they do not do so, are either stupid or complicit. Choose between the latter and the latter. If I go to live in another country, I see that there are Italians who commit crimes, even tarnishing my name. I am the first to fight to isolate them and report them, because when I happen to say that I am Italian, the first thing those people say to me, you know what? Ah, Italian, huh? And you realize that saying it like that isn't good. And when you tell me that foreigners in Italy make up 9% of the population, well, are you sure of what you're saying? No, because I walk around my city, and from what I see, the perception seems to be at least double. In other words, the numbers don't add up. Or is it because you don't see the locals because they are at work while those over there are out doing all day? Choose between the second and the second. And how are they able to stay out all day long without working? How can they pay our pensions if they are out all day without working? And those who commit crimes, stop calling them Maranza. Yeah. Call them by their real name. They are criminals. Here there is someone who is transforming the state of emergency into a permanent state. And with the constant alert, he is normalizing the state of fear. And you must always watch your back, because even when you feel safe while walking on the sidewalk, a car could hit you at 100 an hour and cut off your legs if you happen to be lucky enough to survive that. But I am the only one saying this. And you? What do you think? What do you think should be the first urgent measure to curb this phenomenon? Come on, tell me. Let's talk. Because I am sick and tired of importing nothing but scum. And what about you?